Hey guys, Dan Holland here with SolutionToolbox.com. Welcome to Site Builder 101. Now in the last video I showed you how to come in here and create a new template, and we added some zones here and then we mapped those zones out. So you can see here that I have my header zone and my menu zone with the content and then a footer zone at the bottom, and you can see that we map these out. So it says the current selection is the test header and the current selection is the test footer, so on and so forth. But what I want to do in today's video is actually show you how to come in here and start putting content in your header and in your footer and in your menu and stuff like that. So to do that, I'm going to come up here to Manage Zones. And then you can see Manage Headers, Manage Footers, Manage Custom Zones, Manage Menus. Now these all pretty much work the same way, but basically it'll open up a WYSIWYG editor for us so that we can begin dropping in content. So I'm going to start with the header. So I'm going to come up here to Manage Headers. And you can see that opens up a new window for us. So here's my test header that I had assigned and created down here. So I'm going to go ahead and select the HTML link, and this will open up the header for us. And you can see this is the HTML editor here. Now there's nothing in my editor yet because I haven't created anything, but just to give you a little overview, up top you can see the module library. Now modules are small applications that can live inside your website. For example, you can create a site search or a form, blogs and articles, stuff like that. There's a bunch of things that you can add to your site, and we'll go over that in a later video. But also over here we can see our file manager, so we can see all the images that we've uploaded to the server, and as we click on them we get a nice preview down here. We can also see our CSS manager, and I'll go over CSS files also in a later video. I just want to show you where they're at. But we can see our CSS files, and if we expand them we can see all the CSS styles that we've created in that file. If we click on the root, we can actually open up this file to edit it. Or if we click on an individual style, we can even open up just that style and edit that, either with this WYSIWYG editor or manually if we switch over here to the editor. Also down here at the bottom of the editor you can see that we have design in HTML mode. So if you're more comfortable working with the HTML markup itself, you can switch over to this mode. Otherwise, if you're in design mode, it works a lot like Microsoft Word. It's pretty much drag and drop. So also up top here under settings and options, there's not a whole lot we can do for a header, but we can change the name of the header if we wanted to by selecting the edit page properties there. Otherwise we just have the save button when we last updated it. Now down here on the editor itself, let's see, let's go ahead and just start throwing some content in. So I just can start typing, so I can say this is a test, so just so we can have some content in there. Now we can do some fun stuff with this. We can change the font if we want. We can change the size. There we go. We can make it bold, or we can make it underline, italics. Like I said, pretty much just like Microsoft Word. We can change the color, we can change the background, we can change the alignment, left, right, center. We can create bullets. We can apply CSS classes if we've attached one of these guys over here. We can create tables, insert images, insert flash, stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just say this is a test. Below there I'm going to come down here and create a table real quick. So if I just drop this down, we can do something like that. Now inside this table, if we scroll down to the bottom, we can see the properties of this table here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the table. And let's go ahead and set the background color. Just real quick like that. And let's see. And if I switch over here to my HTML view, we can see the HTML that it started to build for us. So I can actually take some of this and we'll drop it in here, just like that. So now that's in there. Apply my styles again. Alright, so we have a nice little test here. To add some images, if you want to do that, you can either select the Insert Image button here, which will open up all the images that you have available. Eventually. Alright, so then basically if you select an image, you can see a preview over here on the right hand side of what that image actually looks like. And if we say insert, it'll automatically insert that image wherever we had our cursor at. Now we can also come over here and then we can drag images from the editor, just like so. And we can also put them in here. So just a couple ways to get images in there. Now once we have our content all set and done, we can just come up here and say save and update. and then we can see that it was last saved at 10:18 here. So once we're all finished, we can move on to the next web part, which I believe was the footer or custom zone, and they all work the same way. So if we come up here to manage zones, you'll see once again we can see all their zones here. We can create a new one, or we can just select HTML on an existing one, and this would open up that editor for us as well.